Hey everyone, today I'm excited to share my new Kobo Libra Color. But first of all, let me tell you about my old Kindle Paperwhite 4th Gen. This is my Kindle Paperwhite 4th Gen. I bought it back in 2014 and it's been with me through thick and thin. It literally survived -11-degree Canadian winters and 122-degree temperatures in the Middle East. It's endured multiple drops, knocks, and scratches. Now it serves as my backup Kindle. I keep it in my car and charge it about one doctor's or any other place where I might have some downtime. It just works. It's missing some features like dark mode and warm light, but it gets the job done. Now this is my Kindle Paperwhite 11th Gen. I bought this back in 2022 because I really wanted the aforementioned warm screen and dark mode. Please ignore the stickers, my lovely niece put them on for me. Well, one afternoon I was sitting on the couch reading and I happened to fall asleep. The Kindle slipped from my hand and fell onto the carpeted floor. The drop was 1 foot at best. The fall was so quiet that it didn't even wake me up. When I woke up 30 minutes later and picked it up off the ground, this is what I saw. By that time, it had almost been 2 years since I've had this device, so the warranty wouldn't cover it, and there was no way to repair it. Trust me, I checked. I even called Amazon, and they offered me a 25% discount on the purchase of my next Kindle device. Now I love my Kindle Paperwhite 11th Gen, but I also knew there were some features missing that I'd want in my next e-reader. I have responsibilities, so I can't keep buying a new expensive e-reader every 2 years, but I do love to read. So this is my Kobo Libra Color. My wife bought it for me for my birthday, and I've been using it for a few weeks now, and this is an unboxing video. I'd also like to talk about the 5 things that I really like about this device. The Libra comes in a beautiful box, and you can see from the start that they are promoting the color aspects of the device. On the right hand side is how you open it. There's a tab that allows you to pull out the device. How convenient. Underneath the device you have a document that's a quick start guide and a document that tells you who to contact in case you have some issues with your new device. It also comes with a good quality Type-C charging cable. I would advise using this cable when transferring documents to the Kobo. Initially, I had a third-party cable that was already connected to my computer, but my computer wouldn't recognize the Kobo, so I'd advise using this cable. That covers the unboxing part. Now, let me tell you about the technical specifications of the Libra. It has a 7-inch display with a resolution of 330 pixels per inch for black and white content and 150 pixels per inch for color content. Internally, it has 32 gigabytes of memory, which is more than enough to hold thousands of books, comics, magazines, and hundreds of audiobooks. The battery is rated at 2050 mAh, which means you won't need to charge this device more than twice a month. I've only charged it to 100% only once since I've unboxed it. It has a waterproof rating of IPX8, which means you can keep it submerged under 2 meters of water for up to 60 minutes. As for the weight, it comes at just under 200 grams, which makes it very comfortable to hold for longer periods of time. Now enough of the technical details. Let me delve into what actually matters: readability. For me, that's the most important aspect. Here are my top 5 favorite things about the Kobo when it comes to readability. The first thing you notice is the vibrant color screen. While the colors aren't as rich or sharp as those on a tablet, monitor, or even a physical comic book, I understand this is the first generation of color e-ink screens, and it will only get better in the future. For now, I really appreciate the matte look of comic books on the Kobo, especially if you turn on the warm light filter, like here. It feels like you're reading a comic book on a newspaper. The slightly washed out colors make it feel like you're reading an actual physical comic book. Plus, when you do lock the screen, you get a beautiful color screen for a device when it's on standby. Number 2 is the integration with your local library. If you have a library card, you can connect your Kobo to your local library and borrow magazines, books, audiobooks, and comics to your heart's content. At least that is the way here in Canada, and I'm guessing also in the States. If you browse to the overdrive section, you'll see a whole bunch of options and books that you can borrow. If it's a very popular book, you can borrow it up to 7 days. And if it's been in the library for a while, you can borrow it up to 20 days. For example, if I were to pick up anything from the Toronto Public Library staff picks, for example, choose this book first, Little Fires Everywhere, you get 2 options. You can buy it outright from the Kobo store, or if you tap on the 3 buttons right here, you get to borrow with overdrive. Once I click on borrow with overdrive, it automatically connects to the library and downloads the book to the Kobo, at which point I can read it, and once I'm done, it will automatically be returned to the library 20 days later. Number 3 is the physical page turn buttons. I've never used an e-ink device with physical page turn buttons, and let me tell you, it's a game changer. I know many users online have commented about how they might sometimes have difficulty pressing the buttons, but I think it boils down to how the button is constructed. For example, you can see these buttons are on some kind of a rocker, which means that the pressure required to press the button varies from one end to the other. If I press right at the top, it needs almost no pressure. Here, let me show you. And if I want a firmer press, all I need to do is move my thumb a little bit more down, and here, I can still press, but it needs a little bit more pressure than usual. By being able to keep my finger on the button, I don't have to constantly lift my thumb to press the touchscreen. I can just hold it one hand and read like this comfortably for hours on end. Number 4 is the easy display brightness adjustment. In the past, on my other devices, I had to tap 3 times to get to the display slider where I could change the brightness of the backlight. On the Kobo, it's quite simple. All I have to do is swipe my thumb on the left hand side or the right hand side depending on how you hold it, and if I slide down, it reduces the brightness. If I slide up, it increases the brightness. I always have my brightness set to 0 unless I'm going to bed, at which point I just turn up the brightness in the dark by sliding my fingers across the left hand side like this, and it's a very convenient feature. Number 5 is the ergonomics. As you can see, the reader is shaped like a wedge, which means that the weight is distributed to the right hand side or the left hand side depending on how you hold your devices, and that means you have more weight on one side. Because you don't have to keep lifting up your thumb to change the page, I find myself holding and reading the Kobo for hours on end, with no stress on my wrist. Of course, there's a lot more that I do love about this device, but I'll save those for future videos. For now, I wanted to talk about features that are new to me and how they impact my reading experience. Hopefully this answers your questions if you're on the fence about buying the Kobo Libra Color. If not, please let me know about the features that you want me to talk about and I'll address them in future videos. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.